How do I know if I can disable sclocamy_track_modifications? Every time I run my app that uses Flask Sclocamy, I get the following warning that the sclocamy_track_modifications option will be disabled. I tried to find out what this option does, but the Flask Sclocamy documentation isn't clear about what uses this tracking. Sclocamy_track_modifications. If set to true, the default, Flask Sclocamy will track modifications of objects and emit signals. This requires extra memory and can be disabled if not needed. How do I find out if my project requires sclocamy_track_modifications equals true, or if I can safely disable this feature and save memory on my server?
Most likely your application doesn't use the Flask Sclocamy event system, so you're probably safe to turn off. You'll need to audit the code to verify you're looking for anything that hooks into models_committed or before _models_committed. If you do find that you're using the Flask Sclocamy event system, you probably should update the code to use Sclocamy's built-in event system instead. The default value as of Flask Sclocamy 2.1 is none, which is a falsy value, so the event system is disabled. In older versions, the default value was true, so you'll need to explicitly disable it. However, in both cases, the warning won't be silenced until this is explicitly set to false. To do that, add to your app config. Background: here's what the warning is telling you. Flask Sclocamy has its own event notification system that gets layered on top of Sclocamy. To do this, it tracks modifications to the Sclocamy session. This takes extra resources, so the option sclocamy_track_modifications allows you to disable the modification tracking system. The rationale for the change is threefold. Not many people use Flask Sclocamy's event system, but most people don't realize they can save system resources by disabling it. So a saner default is to disable it, and those who want it can turn it on. The event system in Flask Sclocamy has been rather buggy. See issues linked to in the pull request mentioned below, requiring additional maintenance for a feature that few people use. In v0.7, Sclocamy itself added a powerful event system including the ability to create custom events. Ideally, the Flask Sclocamy event system should do nothing more than create a few custom Sclocamy event hooks and listeners, and then let Sclocamy itself manage the event trigger. You can see more in the discussion around the pull request that started triggering this warning.
Jeff Widman's detailed explanation is simply perfect. Since I had some copy and paste fights before getting this right, I'd like to make it easier for the next one that will be in my shoes. The needed configuration must be added in your code between and. If you want to enable track modifications, add Otherwise, if you are not using this feature, you may want to change the value to false. This will silence the warning anyway since you're explicitly setting the parameter in your configuration. The final result should look similar to this example. Note: please keep in mind that currently, July 2022, Sclocamy_track_modifications defaults to none, so there is no risk of memory loss related if you don't configure it. Anyhow, if you want to suppress the warning, You will have to choose between true and false in your config. Thanks to Jeff Whitman for this added suggestion and details.
The above answers look good. However, I wanted to point out this line in the Flask Sklalkami documentation because I was still getting these warnings after setting Sklalkami_track_modifications equals false in my application config. On this page, this URL. The following configuration values exist for Flask Sklalkami. Flask Sklalkami loads these values from your main Flask config, which can be populated in various ways. Note that some of those cannot be modified after the engine was created, so make sure to configure as early as possible and to not modify them at runtime. In other words, make sure to set up your app.config before creating your Flask Sklalkami database. For example, if you are configuring your application to set Sklalkami_track_modifications equals false,
Answer from 2020. If you have questions like this, then you definitely don't need this feature. By the way, the top answer is outdated. From version 2.1, released on October 23, 2015, this config Sklalkami_track_modifications defaults to none. That's mean the tracking behavior defaults to disabled. You don't need to worry about memory loss. Unless you are bothered with the terminal warning, you can suppress the warning by setting it to false.
Professional sources.